Hi, my name is Catherine Hicks. I am going to be your professor for gender, race, and class this semester. You can call me Kat, you can call me Miss Hicks, you can call me Miss Kat, you can call me Professor Hicks, whatever you're most comfortable with. A little bit about me. I have a master's in bioethics, so I specialize in medical humanities, which is an extension of philosophy. I'm also keenly interested in science fiction philosophy and philosophy of horror. I'm a bit of a nerd, so I hope you're ready for that. Um, and this is going to be a little bit rushed and a little bit different since we've had a bit of a difficult start to the semester. I just want to say that as college students, I trust that you all are able to read the syllabus on your own, but I would like to highlight a few important notes. You will be quizzed on the syllabus content. That quiz was supposed to be due on Sunday. It will now be due next Sunday, so you have plenty of time to do that. It's just 3 super easy questions. Don't worry about it. But I would like to highlight some other things on the syllabus for your attention. There will be no exams. Instead, you'll be writing 3 short writing assignments and a final project. There will also be 3 other smaller projects to help familiarize you with several types of content production. One will be a PowerPoint, one will be a video, and one will be a medium of your choosing. So if you want to do another writing assignment, you're welcome to do that, but you do have creative freedom with that 3rd small assignment. You get 1 free 24-hour extension on any of the short writing assignments or the 3 smaller projects. That's no questions asked. You simply let me know beforehand that you're going to be late submitting that one. There will be no penalty. As far as late assignments in the rest of the course, if you talk to me and we figure out an agreement, I'm pretty flexible. I'm not trying to create a huge stress for any of you. I know a lot of you are also working jobs while taking these classes. You have lives. That's completely fine. I will work with you, okay? But that does take communication beforehand. You have to establish with me what's going on, why you need the extension, whatever the case may be. Otherwise, there will be penalties for work submitted late. We will cover a broad expanse of authors and topics, so it is essential to keep up with your readings, even when you don't have a homework assignment. Your course participation also depends on it, and that does contribute to your final grade. I know that it looks like a lot of work on the syllabus, but I have spread your points out across several assignments, so I'm hoping to relieve some of the stress and allow you to strategize in prioritizing some over others. You may also earn up to 2% toward your final grade by completing 2 additional reading reflection assignments. Those are basically journal entries that you can do on readings of your choice for those bonus points, as long as those reflections are not already required from that reading. I am also open to developing alternate assignments for those who have your own ideas and things that you wish to pursue as a bonus opportunity. Just communicate with me about that and we will figure those out. Reading assignments may be subject to change. As we've already seen from the beginning of the semester, things can change for many reasons. But if anything changes from the syllabus, you will be notified well ahead of time about any updates to the course content, any updates to due dates, etc. And if there are particular authors or subjects that you are interested in, I am open to hearing your suggestions to keep the course engaging and relevant to your perspectives. And lastly, it isn't in the syllabus, but you are allowed to use generative AI, such as ChatGPT, to help you address questions in this course. I find it particularly helpful for organizing papers by asking it to provide an outline or some abstract that addresses specific questions. However, all final coursework for submission must be your original work. And I think you will find if you play around with those tools, AI has a really difficult time interpreting philosophical analysis. There are so many different perspectives and opinions out there, and AI cannot distinguish what you're referring to. So, for example, I did a lot of master's level work in posthumanism. Posthumanism is a very loaded word. It can or cannot include transhumanism. It can or cannot advocate for a technological enhancement of biological beings, especially humans. And so, due to the detailed nature of the content that we cover, you really can't safely rely on AI to understand what you're talking about. It's not as simple as, say, like a geometric proof or the results of a lab that you did in your chemistry class. It is not factual in that same way. We are seeking truths in more of an abstract sense, and AI does not know how to handle that. And so finally, regarding the syllabus, to follow up for success, you will be expected to complete 3 student lingo modules for student success in online learning. Those would have been due last Sunday, the 25th. That due date will be extended to next Sunday, following Labor Day, or right before Labor Day, the September 1st. And you will also be expected to participate in a discussion board this week. That is mostly just for student introductions and to address a racial, gender, or class-related stereotype that you have encountered in your life, and how you sort of overcame or came to understand that that stereotype was incorrect in some way. So I'm just going to keep sort of blowing through this since we are playing catch up. In week 3, we begin our readings from the actual textbook, and I wanted to briefly cover W.E.B. Du Bois. Yes, it is Du Bois, even though it looks like Dubois. And I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with him or have heard of him, so I just wanted to give you a brief history of his work and who he was, because the readings that we have in week 3 will be discussing some of his major works. So W.E.B. Du Bois was born in 1868. That was 3 years after the 13th Amendment abolished slavery. His work was very pivotal to understanding the Negro experience in post-slavery America, which we all know was still fraught with inequality, segregation, forced labor for crimes, and oppression that still rears its ugly head today. Not only did he effectively articulate the Negro experience for fellow Negroes, but he legitimized those experiences for white Americans who often had no previous awareness of their own oppressive attitudes. Du Bois is considered the father of Pan-Africanism, and he was the first Black student to receive a PhD from Harvard. He published over 15 books, the most famous of which is The Souls of Black Folk, released in 1903. In this work, as well as previous shorter writings, Du Bois introduced the concept of double consciousness. I'm just going to read this quote from his work and then kind of pick it apart for you. "The Negro is a sort of seventh son, born with a veil and gifted with second sight in this American world, a world which yields him no true self-consciousness, but only lets him see himself through the revelation of the other world. It is a particular sensation, this double consciousness, this sense of always looking at oneself through the eyes of others, of measuring one's soul by the tape of a world that looks on in amused contempt and pity. One ever feels his two-ness, an American, a Negro. 2 souls, 2 thoughts, 2 unreconciled strivings, 2 warring ideals in one dark body, whose dogged strength alone keeps it from being torn asunder." So this framing of otherness, as well as ideas like the white gaze or male gaze, will be very important throughout this course. The sensation of double consciousness is presented as a socio-cultural construct rather than a biological or racial given. Thus, this two-ness is not an inherent or harmless reality of Black experiences. Rather, it is a condition imposed by the other, in this case, the dominant white society of the late 19th and early 20th centuries. There will be recommended resources listed in Blackboard, and in there you will find links to some more detailed information on Du Bois. But as you'll see in Apia's work in week 3, Du Bois did not argue for a lack of differences to unify American society. Rather, he believed that the Black population had its own part to play, its own contributions to make. It was the acceptance of differences that would allow Blacks and whites to operate as complementaries rather than inferiors and superiors. And as a final note for success in this course, I suggest reading at least half of your reading assignments for each week before class on Tuesdays and the rest before class on Thursdays. If you are part of the asynchronous course, you will have the entire week's assignments open to you at the beginning of the week, and each section will have their final assignments due by Sunday each week, unless otherwise denoted on the calendar or within the syllabus. And as I said, we don't work from the text until next week, so you do have a bit of a buffer to go ahead and get that text between now and then if you don't already have it. I do really hope that we can recover from the rough start and that we have a really, really amazing semester together. I look forward to meeting all of you and working with you. I hope that this is a mutually beneficial situation. I'm not sure if any adult has ever told you in life, but learning never stops. And I look forward to exploring all these topics with you guys. This is a big passion of mine, and I hope that some of that can be contagious and inspire you guys to get more involved. Till next time.